If you focused on trading the same way that you focus on playing Fortnite or other video games, you would already be a profitable trader. I know this because I used to be addicted to League of Legends and I used to play hours every single day. And then I realized that the same skills that made me a good gamer can translate into trading and make me money. Fast forward 5 years, I've made a little bit less than $500,000 over the last 9 months. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how you can turn your video game addiction into real life profits. Let's not waste any time and let's hop right into the video. If you really think about it, trading is very similar to gaming. And I bet if you took the best gamers in the world and you taught them how to trade, a lot of them would be extremely successful. And in this video, I'm going to break down the similarities between gaming and trading and how you can translate your gaming skills into trading skills to ultimately grow your account. So if you're half decent at video games, or maybe you used to be a gamer, I want you to be locked in until the end of this video because I'm going to teach you how to actually win in trading. And the funny thing is, video game mechanics are really similar to trading mechanics. Like, what's the first step when you begin learning a new game? Well, you master the controls. You learn the controller. You learn what X does. What does the square button do? What does the O button do? And you learn what effect those buttons have on the character on the game. You get used to the controller. Well, the same thing applies for trading. Your first step is to master your trading platform so you understand what every single button does. So you don't make, dumb, easy to avoid platform mistakes when you're a beginner trader. And I highly recommend doing this either with really small risk or with paper trading. I think the true purpose of paper trading is to learn your platform, to learn what the hotkeys do, different order types. Like there are stop orders, limit orders, market orders, stop limit orders, and every single one of those order types have different purposes. So depending on the type of trade that you're placing, you need to know what order type to actually use. You need to know how to place stop losses quickly. You need to know how to click fast and have fast decision reflexes so you can get in or out of a position really quickly because things change really quickly in the market. Sometimes there's random news that drops and the market absolutely tanks. You need to know how to quickly get out of any trade that you're in or how to quickly get into a trade if there's an opportunity that arises. So during this entire process of mastering your platform, I would either do it on paper trading or just on really, really small risk. What a lot of traders do is they try to learn their platform using real money, using significant risk, and then they make a platform mistake that's easy to avoid, and then they lose money kind of needlessly. So if you're a serious gamer, you should absolutely be able to answer this question. But what's the next thing that a gamer should always look at when playing their game? Feel free to pause the video and answer it, but they should always keep an eye on the map. And the map in a video game is similar to the market in the trading world, where the market is your game world. And like any map in the market, there are traps, there are failed breakouts, failed breakdowns, there's choppy environments, there's moments where the market is sideways and the market kind of pulls you into a trade and then it instantly stops you out. And the same thing applies for opportunities. Sometimes when you're playing a game and you're looking at the map and you're seeing an opportunity to ambush your enemy, well, the same thing applies for trading. There's opportunities that arise in the markets, like trend and momentum days, where you can kind of just ride the trend, go long in an established uptrend or go short in an established downtrend, or you could find A-plus setups in the markets. And you always want to keep an eye on what the market is doing. So let's say you're taking a trade on a stock and all of a sudden random news comes out on the market and the market starts to tank. If you're not looking at the market, well, that news and the market kind of plunging could affect the trade that you're in. And that's why you need to always have one chart on your screen that shows the market so you can make quick decisions in case the market suddenly moves up or down. Or sometimes, let's say you're looking for a breakout, you're looking to go long, you could time your breakout with what the market is doing. Let's say the market also is in an uptrend and is about to continue higher. You can time your entry and wait for market alignment with your trade. And the map also kind of represents the constraints of the video game, right? Like you can't go and leave outside the map. There's certain barriers on the map that you can't move across. Those kind of represent the constraints and rules within your trading plan, where you can't like leave the map in a video game. The same thing applies for trading. You can't break the rules within your trading plan. So the same way that you're always keeping an eye on the map when you're playing a game, you're understanding your surroundings, you have perspective of what's going on, you always want to keep an eye on the market and keep an eye on your trading plan. And you want to be able to react quickly, learning how to master your platform in case the market does something suddenly and you could react appropriately. Next, we have resource management, which is very similar to risk management in trading, where video games will punish you for either breaking rules or being too aggressive or passive in certain moments. And the markets, very similarly, will punish you for ignoring risk, right? In video games, you can sort of just respawn and you don't really lose anything. But in trading, the stakes are much higher and you can't really respawn the money that you just lost. And that's why risk management is so important in trading. The reason I am such a successful trader is because I'm really good at limiting my losses. And just like how you manage health or mana or gold in a video game, where you could spend that gold on like new power-ups or new weapons in the game, that's very similar to managing your capital, right? You're managing your health or your mana or your gold. Same way, you're going to manage your risk in trading. And ultimately, your number one goal as a trader is capital preservation. Your second goal is to make profit or money off of that initial capital. But if you don't know how to protect your capital in the first place, you're not really going to make it far in trading. So the same way that you manage your resources within a game, you have to treat your risk in the same way. In fact, you have to be way more serious with your risk and your capital, because you can't just respawn money. I wish you could do that. That would be great, wouldn't it? I mean, I guess if you use prop firms, you could kind of do that. But if you're trading on a real account, you can't just respawn money. So you have to be really careful. You have to be selective with the trades that you take. Before I move on, I just want to emphasize that so many people spend so much time and effort and money into video games. And if they just put that effort towards other things in life, such as entrepreneurship or trading or school or whatever it is that person wants to pursue, I feel like they would be really successful. It's not easy to get good at video games. So why don't people just, direct those efforts towards something that's actually productive in life or something that can make them money? So if you're a parent or something and your kid is like addicted to video games, encourage them to get into trading. Just encourage them to do it the smart way so they can learn correctly from the very beginning and that they always manage their risk. Next point, we have power-ups and upgrades are very similar to indicators and tools in trading. And if you play video games, you know that you don't need every power-up in a game. You don't need to choose the newest and hardest loadout or weapon to use in the game, or this is really going to depend on the game that you play. But sometimes the best thing to do is stick to what works and keep it simple. And the same thing applies for trading. Sometimes too many indicators, too many trading tools on your charts leads to cluttered charts. Like I only use basically two indicators. I use the 20 period simple moving average and the 200 period simple moving average. And if you actually go to the video right before this one, you could actually learn how to use those moving averages. And I also use volume. I like to keep it simple. I don't like cluttered charts. I don't like it when I have 5 different indicators all telling me different things. And then that leads to analysis paralysis, which is real in trading. It's also real in video games. You want to keep it simple. The simpler the charts, the better. And when it comes to playing a game, sometimes you just want to stick to what works. Stick to what's making you successful. You don't need to try out the new shiny tool, the new shiny indicator that just got released. Stick to what works. Keep it simple. And like for me, like I said, I only use 2 simple moving averages and volume. That's it. I've never tried any other indicators. Next, we have learn your champion. So I used to be addicted to League of Legends, when I was a teenager. And in League of Legends, there are a lot of different characters that you could play in the game. And for all of the League of Legends fans, I used to be a Fiora main. I used to play Maokai, and then I used to play Ahri and Orianna in the mid lane. And the key in League of Legends is to learn your character, master one character instead of just jumping around and playing different characters. And that kind of relates to mastering your platform. But in trading, you are the character, you are the champion. And you need to learn your own strengths and weaknesses the same way that you learn the strengths and weaknesses of the character that you're playing in the game. And whenever you're playing a game, you pick a character that fits your gameplay style. And the same thing applies to trading. You are the champion. You need to figure out your trading style. And this is why I really don't recommend like joining copy trade Discord groups, because you're ultimately just copying other people's trades. You're not learning your own trading style. All of us are different. No two traders are alike. You can take the 10 best traders in the world and they're all completely different because they all developed their own style that works for them based off their own strengths and weaknesses. And that's exactly what you need to do. You need to figure out your own style, your own trading personality. And that comes with time, it comes with experience, it comes with journaling, with back testing, and it comes with being highly dedicated to the game. And the game here is trading. To stress the importance of you finding your own unique personality as a trader, I'm going to give you an example. So my father taught me how to trade 5 years ago. He was my mentor. So you would expect my father and I to trade in the exact same way. But 5 years later today, my dad and I trade differently. I have my own unique style. He has his own unique style. And even though we trade the same methodology, we trade differently. And the best way I can describe this is take like LeBron James and Steph Curry. Those are some of the best basketball players that have ever existed. They both play the same sport, just like how my dad and I trade the same methodology, but they play completely differently based on their own strengths and weaknesses. And the same thing applies for trading. So you never want to just copy another trader. You want to make sure you're developing the skill set for yourself and you're finding what works for you. Next point we have here is mentorship and community. And this is like multiplayer mode when you're playing a game. And I'll be honest, some of my most fondest teenage memories was me staying up until like 2 or 3 a.m. playing League of Legends with the boys, like on a school night. And it was fun playing by yourself, but it's just so much more fun playing it with your friends. And even to this day, I don't play video games at all. The only times you will catch me playing video games is when my cousin Greg is over. He's the one that I taught how to trade. And we play NHL. We play Chell for hours just because it's so much fun doing it with your friends. And the same thing applies for trading. Community is so important in trading because as a trader, it's kind of lonely. And people that don't trade don't really understand what you're going through. And a lot of them are going to doubt you. A lot of them are going to spread negative energy. They're going to tell you that trading is gambling. I actually made literally a video that's called Don't Tell People You Day Trade on this channel because a lot of people are going to doubt you. And a lot of people aren't going to understand your struggles and your perspective as a trader. And then they're not going to celebrate when you actually succeed because they may be envious of you. So it's really important to trade within a community of other traders or have friends that also trade. Like 80% of my friends today are also traders because they understand me. And it's really important. So if you do need a community, I have a free 10+ hour course that is genuinely better than most paid courses on the internet. It'll help you build the foundation of your trading. You can combine my free course with a lot of the education on my YouTube channel. And if you are looking for serious mentorship and you want to approach trading seriously, you want this to be potentially your full-time job, I do personally help coach and scale traders from zero to making anywhere between $5,000, $10,000 to $50,000 per month. My traders trade live with me every single day in the community, and I am hands-on mentoring and coaching as I am trading. So If you do have interest in that, you could apply in the description of this video. But trading within a community is so important. So find friends, find community, okay? Because it's going to be difficult learning how to trade by yourself. It's a lonely game. You're going to want to have friends that you can collaborate with and that you can ultimately improve and grow with. Next point here, final bosses and ranking up. So in League of Legends, the way that it works is if you win enough matches, you could actually rank up and advance from like silver to gold or gold to platinum and so on. And in other games, there are final bosses where you have to defeat that final boss before you move on to the next level. Well, in trading, it's pretty similar, except that final boss is you. In trading, it's you versus you. You versus your own mindset, you versus your own emotions, you versus your impulses. That's the difficult part about trading. Controlling your emotions and understanding your own mindset and psychology. You are the final boss that you need to conquer in your trading. The only thing that's stopping you from making money is yourself. And it's specifically your emotions, whether that's greed or whether that's fear. And you have to learn how to control those emotions. Some of the worst piece of advice that I see online is you have to trade like a robot. How is that possible? We are not algorithms. We are not robots. We're human beings. Emotions are inevitable. We can't really control the fact that humans experience emotions. Unless you're like a psychopath, we all experience fear, greed, FOMO. We experience revenge trading. We experience these emotions that are very powerful within our trading. It's not about not having emotions. It's about learning how to control them, learning how to manage your own mindset and psychology. That's the hard part about trading. The actual price action principles, like how to read charts, how to read candlesticks, reading moving averages, understanding the setups, risk management, it's not that hard. The hardest part about trading is you becoming a better and more disciplined version of yourself, you mastering your own psychology. And that's ultimately it. You are the final boss that you need to conquer, and you always have to be improving and conquering yourself, because greed and fear, they can come up every single day. So you don't just beat them once. You fight them every day. You fight them every week and at every level that you're at as a trader. Next point here is pretty simple, but it's the scoreboard and your stats. Just like in a video game, you have certain statistics that you keep track of. It really depends on the game here. Like if you're playing a sports game, those stats are like the scoreboard or how many games that you won. Well, the same thing applies for trading. You need to know your stats. You need to know your win rate, your R to R, your Sharpe ratio. You need to know your results in trading, and ultimately, the best way to see those results naturally come to you is by practicing the law of detachment. It's detaching yourself from the outcome and focusing on the process. Like when you're playing a video game and you're playing, let's say, an NHL game, like I like to play with my cousin, I'm not focused on the score. I'm focused on playing the game and beating him and getting better at the game. And the same thing applies for trading. You need to focus on the process of becoming a skilled trader. Don't focus on the money. I actually made an entire video about the law of detachment that you can find on my channel. And you need to stop comparing yourself to others. Like there's leaderboards for video games. Why are you comparing yourself to a video game player who's been playing that game for 10 years? Like that sounds ridiculous. If you're day one of playing that video game, why would you compare yourself to someone who has years of experience? But that's what happens in trading a lot of the time. Even I'm guilty of this, where I'll compare myself to other traders. This happens a lot with my students, where they will compare themselves to other students who are seeing better results. Only compare yourself to who you were yesterday, okay? Comparison is a dangerous thing, okay? Stop comparing yourself to others. Like make a conscious effort to only compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Very important. And when it comes to your results in trading, it's all about consistency. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how consistently are you making that money. I much rather see a trader make $100 every single day for months than a trader who makes $300 that day, then minus 2,000 the next day, then plus 5,000, then minus 1,000, then plus 3,000, then minus 6,000, then plus 200, right? There's no consistency there. They might have big winning days, but they also have big losing days. You don't want that. Don't worry about the money. Focus on the consistency, because once you're consistently making, let's say $100 every single day, it's really straightforward to increase your risk. And since you're so consistent, you could have, strong confidence that your results are also going to increase and you're going to end up making more money. But focus on consistency first. I cannot emphasize this enough. Detach yourself from the outcome, detach yourself from the money, focus on the process, and focus on consistently executing on your edge and on your trading plan. And as a result, the profits and the results will naturally come to you. So we kind of already talked about this, but in video games, we have extra lives and respawns. However, trading is a lot more costly than a video game. The stakes are much higher because you're actually trading with real money. Unless you're trading using prop firms where you actually can basically respawn an account, you could just buy another prop firm account for like $100. You should always be focusing on risk management and limiting your losses from the very beginning. Start with paper trading to learn your platform. And then when you actually start trading with real money, use small risk, right? Start with like $1 to $10 risk. And then as you're gaining confidence, as you're gaining consistency, and as you're gaining experience, you can gradually increase your risk. But start small and understand that you can't respawn money. All right, so don't, like I said, the number one goal as a trader is capital preservation. You have to preserve your capital. You can't just go willy-nilly into the markets, throw random money around and expect a return. That's how most people get absolutely destroyed in trading, right? And even if you do lose money, you could always respawn, so to speak, the next day, learning from your mistakes and smarter than you were the previous day. So that's why it's so important to journal, which is actually my next point, so you can learn from your trading mistakes. And the other part of it is tilt control. Have you ever played a video game where you took your controller and you threw it at your TV or you threw it on the ground and then it broke and now you have to go buy another one because you got tilted, or you're tilted and now you can't really play the game right and you're losing? Same thing applies for trading. You got to control your emotions. If you're on tilt, you have to put your controller down, take a break, end the game. Same thing applies for trading. Leave your trading monitor and come back the next day. That's the hard part about trading, knowing when to leave versus knowing when to be aggressive in the markets. And it's really important to find that balance. So if you're tilted playing a video game, you're going to get tilted in the markets. And the goal is to not allow those emotions or that tilt to tangibly impact your bottom line. You can't let those emotions impact your profits or your losses. Like for me, for example, I'm a human being too. I've been trading for 5 years. I still experience emotions, obviously. I'm like any other person, except I don't allow those emotions to impact my trading. I don't allow myself, if I'm tilted, to take another trade. If I'm tilted, I lower my risk and I step away from my monitor, or I don't trade at all. I'm really disciplined with that. So if you're facing those emotions like tilt or fear or greed, make sure you have like a protocol that you follow so you don't end up losing money in the markets. Finally, we have replaying and journaling. So there are actually a lot of games where you could replay your own gameplay, you could watch it, and then you could figure out what you could have done better. And most games, they're not even about beating them. Like most games, you just advance to the next and harder level and you face tougher competition, or you just play a new game and you just continue doing that and getting better. So it's about replaying, improving, and grinding to become a better gamer. There aren't that many games where you play it, you won, and now you never play it again, right? And in trading, it's the same way. You're improving and constantly grinding, and you need to be putting the work outside of trading hours. You have to be reviewing your trades, journaling, back testing. You could even use, if you use Thinkorswim, there's this on-demand feature where you could literally go back in time and like take trades. The same thing applies for like TradingView. I think there's also a functionality for that. But you have to put in the work outside of trading hours. You have to follow this improvement process that I call PAIR. PAIR is P stands for prepare, E stands for execute. So you prepare a trading plan, then you execute on that plan. A is analyze your results, and R is refine your trading plan based off the conclusions you made on your results. So it's really important that you're constantly doing this, and you need to be recording the trades that you're taking, journaling them, going back and understanding what you did wrong, what you did right, and what maybe trading management you should have done, where you should have taken profits, where you should have moved your stop. And you develop a system over time that works for you by using PAIR: prepare, execute, analyze, refine. And it takes several iterations of doing that on your trading plan to see the results that you're looking for. But if you're constantly preparing your plan, executing on it, analyzing the results, what you could have done differently to improve, eliminating mistakes, and then you refine that plan, and then you continue doing that over time, it's impossible to not improve. And that's what you need to focus on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you found value, make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave a comment, leave a like. And honestly, this is the way that I would translate your gaming skills into trading skills to hopefully, grow your trading account. And I feel like if a lot of gamers spent half the effort that they spend on gaming towards learning trading or any other skill set that can make them money, they would all be rich. Seriously. I mean, I know you could still make money in video games and like tournaments and their sponsorships and stuff, but there's so many people that they spend countless hours playing video games. And if you just use that time towards something a little bit more productive, they would be incredibly successful, right? Like your life is a video game. Why would you play GTA in the game when your own life should be looked at as GTA, where you could upgrade your character, you could upgrade yourself, become a better trader, go to the gym, learn more skills, become a more well-rounded individual? People need to be approaching life the same way that they approach video games, where they take the video game super seriously. So hopefully you found tremendous value from this. Let me know in the comments if you guys did and what you guys think, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you very much.